If you're new to homeschooling, or even if you're not, you may have heard the term morning menu and wondered what in the world it is. Hey, welcome back to my homeschool channel. I'm Meg. I'm a second generation homeschool mom. And when I first heard the term morning menu, I was clueless. I had no idea what people were talking about. But now that I use it with my kids, I love it. So if you're in the same boat, I want to show you how we use our morning menus, and then at the end of this video, give you 4 easy steps to get started using menus for yourself. A great way to introduce morning menus is to say that they are very similar to the concept of circle time, which is a more well-known term. You won't hear that term in homeschool communities because we tend to like to use morning basket and morning time instead of circle time, but it's a very similar concept. I'm actually going to be doing a video soon of what our morning time is going to look like this year and everything that's included in our morning basket, so be sure to subscribe to my channel before you head out today so you don't miss that video. But let's get back to the morning menus. So what do you use morning menus for? Well, I personally use them for 2 different things for our family. The first way I use them is as a part of our normal morning routine that includes calendar skills, weather observation, and filling out an About Me page. This About Me page comes from the Gentle and Classical Press's preschool and kindergarten morning binders, and it provides space for your kids to practice writing their name, writing how old they are, and then for the older kids, a line for practicing either their phone number or their address. Then also provides a space for your kids to take a little emotional inventory that morning to see how they're feeling. We also assess the weather every morning as part of our routine. My kids, especially when they're 3 and 4, love to run outside and check the weather every morning. It's great for practicing their observation skills and talking about different types of weather and seasons. So having this page in our morning menu just helps that be a consistent part of our morning routine. My oldest is starting to phase out of this weather observation page just a little bit since she's entering 4th grade this year, but she still happily goes along with her little sisters, so I'm going to leave it in her binder for 1 more year. The second way that we use our morning menus is to keep all of my kids' important memory work that we're working on in one convenient place. We do a loop schedule for a lot of our morning basket subjects, so we only need 1 memory page a day, and having everything in a morning menu keeps it all compact and makes it easy for my kids to just go and grab their morning menu page out of the basket, and everything is right there and we can just flip to the page we need, and we're not trying to find random pages in random folders all the time. The pages are protected inside the menu cover, so no pages are getting lost and no pages are getting ripped up. So looking inside our morning menus from the front to the back, you'll see the About Me pages and the weather pages that we already talked about. And then on the next page, we have the lyrics to the hymn that we'll be learning that month. We learn a new hymn every month, and I've already picked out every hymn that we'll be working on this school year, and I've even printed them all up and put them in my Etsy shop. If you're interested in adding hymn lyrics to your morning menu, I'll post a link to my Etsy shop in the description below. Be sure to check that out. And then after that, we have a name tracing page. I've personalized a name tracing page for each of my kids, and I just have them taped off right now because I don't want to share our last name. But for my oldest, she'll be practicing her cursive signature. My 1st grader will be practicing her first and last name, and then my youngest will just be practicing writing her first name. And then the next page in the menu is the poem that we'll be working on this month, and this is something that I'll also change out either monthly or however long it takes us to master it. I've already compiled a list of just really delightful poems for kids. I'm also sharing those on my Etsy shop, and I'd love for you to take a look there if poetry is something you're interested in adding to your morning time. And then the next thing that we're going to be working on this year is memorizing all of the presidents. So I purchased this printable off of Etsy, and I looked up a couple of songs on YouTube to help us memorize the names of all the presidents this year. This is a really big task, but I know my girls can do it, and I'm really looking forward to learning this alongside of them. They were able to memorize the 50 states and capitals in a similar way. We just did it as part of our morning time. We had the map in our morning menu, and we just sang a song about it once a week. So I'm hoping that we can learn the presidents the same way. And speaking of maps, that brings me to my last page, which is a world map listing the names of the 7 continents and the 5 major oceans. This will be our geography focus for the year, so I've included the map on the back for constant review and memorization for my girls. My preschooler's menu does look a bit different. She has the map and the list of the presidents just to give her some exposure and familiarity to maps and the faces of the presidents, but she doesn't have the typed up poem or the song lyrics. Instead, I put letter tracing pages in there that I got for free from twistynoodle.com. This will help keep her hands busy while we sing our hymns or work on our morning basket subjects, and I'll change these out periodically for her to help keep her interest. So now that you've seen a peek inside of our morning menu, I want to give you 4 steps that will make it super easy for you to create a morning menu for your children. Step 1, buy a menu for each child. I've linked the ones that we use below down in the description, and I like these because they hold a regular 8.5 by 11 inch piece of paper, and they hold up to 8 pages, which gives you the ability to add a lot of different things into your morning time. Step 2, and this is the hardest part, decide what you want to put in your morning menu. There are so many things you can choose, and really no way to go wrong here, so don't stress about it. The best thing about this is that you can start off with one idea, and if it's not working, you can easily pull those papers out and start again. So don't get overwhelmed by all of the options. You can do song lyrics, poems, Bible verses, or seasonal quotes, or you can use it as a place to sharpen your kids' practical skills like name writing, calendar, or weather observation. You can put tracing pages in there for your younger kids that show letters or shapes or lines to follow. And if that's the direction you want to go, I definitely recommend checking out twistynoodle.com because they have so many great free options for this on their website. Or you could put a piece of artwork that you've printed out in there if picture study is something that you really want to include in your morning basket. There are tons of ideas on Pinterest and Etsy for morning menu pages. So if you like all of these ideas, but you need a little bit more inspiration or you aren't sure how to create your own, just search morning menu pages and so many options will come up. Again, don't get overwhelmed about making the perfect choice. It might be a little bit trial and error, but that's okay because it's super easy to change out and find what works for you. The next step is once you've decided what you want in your menu, print it out and put it in there. My best tip for getting the pages to slide in without getting crinkled up is to grab the inside edge of your paper and slide it in as far as you can go. Once you've got it as far in as you can go, then use your flat hand to shimmy it in or slide it in the rest of the way. And then the last step is just to enjoy using them. I love how convenient these menus are for storing papers, like I said, making it easier for my kids to keep track of their important memory work. And I love how they allow for us to use the pages over and over again because we can use the dry erase markers on them. It's super helpful for preschoolers and kindergartners who are doing a lot of learning how to draw shapes and write letters and numbers, and it keeps them really engaged because there's just something fun about using a dry erase marker and being able to wipe it off and do it again and again. I hope this video was helpful and gave you some ideas for how to use morning menus if it's been something that you've been interested in. If it was, I'd appreciate it so much if you like this video and subscribe to my channel before heading out. Every interaction with my channel helps me out so much. I'd also love to know in the comments if you use morning menus already in your homeschool, and if you do, what's your favorite thing to put in there? Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, happy homeschooling.